It was supposed to be a thrilling winter expedition, an adventure through the vast, frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains. 9 experienced hikers set out, eager to test their skills against the elements. But they never returned. Days turned into weeks, and when rescuers finally found their campsite, what they uncovered defied all logic. A tent, cut open from the inside. Footsteps leading into the snow, as if the hikers had fled in terror. And then, the bodies. Scattered, half-naked, some frozen in twisted, unnatural positions. Others with fatal injuries, a crushed skull, broken ribs, even a missing tongue. No clear explanation. No survivors to tell the story. What happened that night on Dyatlov Pass? Was it a brutal act of nature? A top-secret military experiment gone wrong? Or something far stranger? Today, on Cryptic Journeys, we dive deep into one of history's most chilling unsolved mysteries, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. To understand this mystery, we have to go back to January 1959, deep in the Soviet Union. A group of students and recent graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute planned an ambitious trek through the Ural Mountains. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, was a skilled and experienced hiker, just like the rest of his team. This wasn't some amateur expedition. These were strong, capable mountaineers, all eager to earn the highest-level hiking certification, Grade 3, a distinction that required weeks of trekking through harsh conditions. The group consisted of 9 members, all between the ages of 20 and 24. They were young, intelligent, and passionate about adventure. Among them was Lyudmila Dubinina, known for her strong-willed personality. There was Zinaida Kolmogorova, an enthusiastic, cheerful presence. There was Rustam Slobodin, a talented engineer, and Yuri Doroshenko, known for his boldness, even once standing off against a bear. Each member brought something unique to the group. They had bonded over their shared love for the outdoors, and this was meant to be their greatest journey yet. On January 23, 1959, the group boarded a train to their starting point. They were in high spirits, joking, taking photos, and writing in their journals. Little did they know, these would be the last records of their lives. After arriving in the small town of Ivdel, they traveled by truck to the village of Vizhai, the last known civilization before their expedition into the wilderness. They stayed there for a night, making final preparations. Then, on January 27th, they set off. But the next day, one of them, Yuri Yudin, began feeling unwell. Severe joint pain forced him to turn back. He was disappointed, but at the time, it seemed like a minor setback. Little did he know, he had just escaped a fate that would claim the lives of his friends. The group was expected to return by February 12th. When they didn't, their families grew anxious. Days passed. Still nothing. Finally, on February 20th, a search team was sent to find them. What they discovered was horrifying. On February 26th, searchers came across the hikers' campsite, buried in snow. Their tent was still standing, but something was wrong. It had been slashed open from the inside, as if the hikers had desperately clawed their way out into the freezing night. Their belongings were still inside, boots, clothing, food, untouched. But the hikers themselves were gone. Following a trail of footprints, the search team made a chilling discovery. About a mile away, at the edge of the forest, they found the first 2 bodies, Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonyshenko. Both were barefoot, dressed only in their underclothes, lying next to the remains of a small fire. Their skin had turned an eerie shade of orange, and their hands were covered in bruises, as if they had fought for their lives. But there were no signs of an attacker, just the cold, relentless snow. Then, as the search continued, they found 3 more bodies, Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin. They were positioned as if trying to crawl back to the tent, their bodies frozen in the deep snow. Rustam's skull showed signs of a massive blow, but there were no external wounds. It was as if something had crushed his head from the inside. The remaining 4 hikers were missing for months. It wasn't until May that their bodies were finally discovered, buried under 13 feet of snow in a ravine. And their condition only deepened the mystery. Ludmila Dubinina's tongue was missing. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol had a shattered skull. 2 others had multiple broken ribs, but no external bruising. As if something had crushed them with immense force, but without leaving a trace. Over the years, many theories have emerged, some logical, some bizarre. Let's start with the most common explanation: an avalanche. The idea is that a small slab of snow collapsed onto their tent, forcing them to flee in panic. But, if that's true, why were their footprints so orderly? And why were some of the injuries more consistent with a high-speed car crash than a snow impact? Another theory suggests infrasound, a powerful, low-frequency wind phenomenon that can cause panic and hallucinations. But could mere sound drive 9 experienced hikers to flee half-naked into the freezing night? Then there's the military experiment theory. Some believe the group stumbled upon secret Soviet weapons tests, perhaps parachute mines or a radiation experiment. After all, traces of radiation were found on their clothing. But if the government was covering up something, why leave the bodies where they could be found? And then, there are the stranger theories. Some claim a Yeti-like creature attacked them. Others say UFOs were involved, pointing to glowing orbs seen in the sky that night. Could something truly beyond our understanding have been at play? Over 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of all time. Despite modern investigations, no single theory can fully explain all the strange details. 9 hikers, found dead in a way that defies logic. Was it nature, a Soviet cover-up, or something else entirely? The truth may never be known. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love diving into the world's most mysterious cases, don't forget to subscribe to Cryptic Journeys. Until next time, keep searching for the truth.